Hello, my name is John Downing. I am a high school history teacher in Springfield, Ohio. And beyond that, I am a certified USA powerlifting coach. I've been coaching the sport of powerlifting for roughly 7 years at the high school level, and then 3 years at The Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. Ohio State University is one of the biggest colleges in the United States and the world. Powerlifting to me is an amazing sport. And this summer, when I visited Zimbabwe on missions work, I had no real intentions of tying the work I was doing there to the sport of powerlifting. But towards the end of the trip, we visited some community centers, one of those being the Glenora Community Center in Harare. And as we were visiting these community centers, something came to me, an idea of combining powerlifting with missions work and a way in which we can also build communities. It's often said that sports are today's modern day parables. They are something everyone can relate to. In Zimbabwe, we know there are huge interest in soccer as well as rugby teams there as well. And there are ways people can interact and connect. Powerlifting is nothing different than those sports as well. It's a way in which people connect in a community level. With that being said, I have and would like to be promoting the sport of powerlifting in Zimbabwe. My intentions for doing so are working through these community centers around Harare, starting first in one of them to try out the success of this idea through building a training facility there. We do not just want to build a training facility there, but we also want to equip and certify coaches so that they become skilled in the sport as well, and then they can pass on that skill to the athletes they will be training. The idea in working in these community centers is there are communities around them. Powerlifting is a sport that thrives on community. The sport is about the individual and how well they can do at their own body weight, and because of that, they're never really competing against a single person. And since they're not competing against a single person, it's a sport where everyone pulls together and cheers for each other, and from that, you get community. So we want to build these training facilities, outfit coaches, and from there, as the sport grows and the community grows around the sport, and hopefully putting more training facilities in other community centers, then we can go about actually promoting the sport beyond just training. From there, we could host powerlifting meets. At this time, there is an African federation that oversees all of the countries in Africa that have powerlifting so far. Just 2 years ago, the International Powerlifting Federation had its national meet in Johannesburg, South Africa. So it's not something too far away from Zimbabwe. We can pull resources from other areas. But for now, I would like to begin training the sport in the country, outfitting coaches, and building the community. With that, I have started a nonprofit organization in the United States. It is called Lift for Life. Its mission statement is to raise funds for nutritional and strength training curriculum and equipment in low-income and at-risk communities around the world. We want to start in Zimbabwe. That is where the passion for this idea came from, and that is where I'd like to start to grow powerlifting from Zimbabwe and then hopefully elsewhere. This is not something that can be done overnight. It is like any sport where you have to train them up to learn the skills to be able to compete. But this is something I know we can be successful at based on the experience I have in the sport, as well as the connections I have in the community. We're already beginning to create our Lift for Life curriculum for coaches. This is going to be created by some of the best minds in the sport that there are at this time. And it's going to be a pull together of the community here of powerlifting in the United States to start to equip and outfit the communities first in Zimbabwe and then other countries. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, I'm sure Ben and Helen can put you in contact with me. But thank you for taking some time and learning about powerlifting. I'd love to share more.